Time Druid is almost dead, and Time Druid does go down. Sneaky Elephant's going for it, and they do manage to keep the phase gate up. Onos is moving in right as the arcs are moving out. This is very fortuitous timing by the alien. Yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Sucky Gamers Natural Selection 2 Tournament. I am, of course, Salutha, also known as the Sucky Gamer. And I'm joined here today by Nexel's Bitey. How you doing today, Bitey? Bitey? Oh man, Bitey might be gone for a little bit. He might be having some connection issues here. But I'm here at least. And we're going to get started here in just a few moments. I hope you're all excited about this match. And I'm excited to bring it to you. We've got a wonderful matchup today. The final match before the quarterfinals start. We have True North versus Northern Lights today. And it's going to be an exciting brawl here. Northern Lights is a pretty new team. I don't believe they've done any matches yet. They've probably done a few scrims, of course, but no matches as of yet. And we've got True North, who is a Division 1 North American team, ready to go at it. So it should be a good matchup today. I'm really excited to bring it to you. And I can't wait to get started. So we're going to get started here in a few minutes. Like I said, I believe Bitey's having a few connection issues. So we might be having, might be waiting a bit for him to show up. But before we do that, let's talk about the brackets a little, shall we? Let me go ahead and bring up the brackets here on my screen, and we can review those as we wait a few minutes for things to get settled. Technical issues, folks. You gotta love them. In today's age of wonderful computers, technical issues always come up. So like I said, this is going to be the final match before we start the the quarterfinals in the Sucky Gamer Natural Selection 2 tournament. Northern Lights, True North going at it. Previously in the tournament, of course, we've seen Nexel and Breakfast Club go at it. Nexel, of course, taking that victory 3-0. We've seen Godar and Cool Clan go at it. Godar taking that 3-0. And we've also seen, yesterday we saw Cystisis versus Duplex. And of course, we saw Duplex take that 3-0. So a lot of pretty major victories for all the teams so far in this matchup. And I'm actually, another technical difficulty here. I'm waiting for my brackets to load up and they're just not coming up. But we've got a lot of great matches coming up in the future here as well. And here we go. Here we go. This is it. This is what I've been waiting for. Let me go ahead and bring this up for you folks. So like I said, we saw Cystisis versus Duplex 3-0. Gonthar versus Cool Clan 3-0. Nexel versus Breakfast Club 3-0. And True North versus Northern Lights. So it's going to be a whole lot. There's been a whole lot of 3-0 matches. Coming up in the quarterfinals, of course, we have Circle Lurk versus Duplex. Circle Lurk's a fairly brand new team as well. They formed from the Reddit tournament, so that should be pretty good to watch. Versus Duplex, a Division 1 European team. So North American versus European there as well. In the F match, we have the team versus Cool Clan. Both very good teams. Cool Clan, of course, Division 1 team. The team, I'm not quite sure if they're Division 1 or not, but that should be a good match. The winner of those two matches will, of course, go into the semifinals. Bounded versus Nexel coming up here in the next week or two. That should be a good match. Bounded is a fairly new team as well. They formed just after the ENSL started. So, they haven't been able to get any official matches in. This is going to be their this is going to be their first matchup in any official capacity. And of course, the winner of today's match going up against the ever notorious Archaea. And as we all know, Archaea is the best team in Natural Selection 2 right now. So I'm definitely excited to see who's going to go up against them. Very, very good match coming up on the J bracket. Should Nexel defeat Bounded, we're going to see Nexel versus Archaea, which I know is a very, very hotly anticipated match. So we'll see if that turns up. Obviously, that's going to be up to Bounded and Nexel, see who wins there. Of course, depending on who wins in the Archaea matchup as well, who advances True North or Northern Lights and who continues there. So it's gonna be a few good matches going on, and I'm excited to see who's gonna take it. Still no word from Bitey. I might be casting this match by myself, should he not be able to resolve his issues. I'm getting a few messages from him though. He's trying. He's trying. But until then, in Natural Selection 2 news, while we kill some time here, everyone? We've got a new patch coming out next week. You can actually check out that patch on Steam right now, opting into the beta client. A lot of interesting changes there. I know they don't have a change log out right now, so I'm not quite sure what to look out for. I know the cyst change is pretty big in there. The cyst change being the cysts are going to be down to 25 health when they spawn, and when you destroy a cyst, infestation instantly disappears. So that's going to be an interesting change as well. But here's what's happening here. Bitey is, of course, having connection issues. And also, it seems True North has not shown up. They actually have 2 more minutes until we declare this a victory for Northern Lights, which is going to be it's going to be interesting. Northern Lights is going to move on to defeat Archaea should True North not show up. They have 5 minutes past the match time. We're sitting at 1:03. By the time this delay hits you, obviously it'll be past that.
Hey!
Oh, there's Bitey. It's about time you showed up. Man,
what? Nothing's happening.
I've been sitting here talking endlessly for the pre-show about random crap no one even cares about.
You know, I like sped a little bit. Drove 3 old ladies off the road, hit 2 children, 3 dogs, 5 cats, took out a whole city block.
Well, you're here now. I was making up excuses for you. I had no idea where you were. I was saying you have technical difficulties, but apparently you're just running people off the road. We actually have someone from chat saying we need server info. They should need server info. I'm going to take care of this. Bitey, you talk about something for a bit since I filled the first 5 minutes.
Hey, I'm Bitey. Yo, what's up? What's going on? Nothing big. You know, I'm just hanging out here with Talutha. Me and Talutha gonna go over some stuff while we play a video game. You know, I'm a good time filler. You know, I just fill that time up with space time, and continuum.
We're going to see if Bitey can do this for 5 minutes.
Whoa. That's a long time. But you know what? Challenge accepted. And you know, I might as well get some viewer interaction going on in here, because that's what I do, because I'm Coach. My other nickname's Coach. And then my surname's Big Deals. And then my actual name's Bitey. So you're like, Big Deals Coach Bitey. So.
Well, that was definitely something.
Yeah, there you go. You got 2 minutes burnt.
2 minutes burnt. Well, we're still waiting for True North to show up here. They've actually, as you can see in chat, this is obviously very delayed. So
delayed? I'm not even on the channel.
What do you mean you're not on the channel?
I'm not even in. I don't even know what they're talking about. What if people started talking to me? I'm not even gonna hit anything.
Well, you're not gonna be able to hear them anyways, Bitey, because they're not talking to you.
Well, I can read it. Oh, is this supposed to be me? This little gorge here? Is that me?
Yeah, that's you. That's you, buddy.
That's me.
That's all you. It even says Bitey on it. I don't know where it is in the broadcast. Oh, no, it's past that. It did say Bitey, and then I switched scenes, and I forgot to change it to your name for the second scene. So it said blind, but you're definitely not blind.
Oh.
For one, blind is
Well,
German.
you know, you had a live action picture for your other friend, and well, I just get this innocent
We got a
looking
live
gorge.
action.
That's
Do you
me.
have a webcam, Bitey?
Not here.
Exactly, exactly. So don't go complaining to me.
I'll be right back again.
I'm not gonna put you
Go
on.
to the store.
We're already. It's too late. We've already started, Bitey. We can't just add you in.
You can add me in because I'm the man, the main man to get added in.
The main man to get added in.
I don't know if anybody watched that show match yesterday, but you might notice I wasn't quite this energetic. Because I'm not sure how much Wasabi would have let me just like ramble and ramble and ramble and just like pour on, like turn his show into the Bitey show.
So you're
Like
saying I'm less professional, and you feel less professional in this environment. I'm wearing a nice dress shirt, Bitey. I mean, doesn't that make it more professional than Wasabi's cast?
Well, you never see Wasabi. I don't know. Was Wasabi on camera last night? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I didn't.
I know
actually,
he wore a suit once, but then he never wore the suit again.
I didn't actually get to catch it. We can pretend like he wears a nice suit and dress shirt and stuff, even though he's not on camera. So we can just picture that going. So it looks like True North is showing up. We have one person set up in the server right now, and we're just waiting for the other 5 to come on. So what do you want to talk about, Bitey? How's the weather up there, wherever you are?
Well, I got some ribs.
Oh, are you eating ribs
That's
right now?
not even weather, Bitey. I asked you about weather. I got some ribs, yeah.
Are you eating ribs at your computer? That's insane. I don't think I'd ever eat ribs at a computer.
I mean, they're cold, so they're not as gooey as they could be. And oh shit, I'm gonna have to get like one of those wet naps because it will get this nice keyboard. It's really expensive, all greasy.
What kind of keyboard are you using?
DOS keyboard. The
DOS?
top of the line mechanical keyboard. That's probably more brand name pricing than anything, but it's
Which keyboard?
lower. DOS keyboard.
I've never even heard of that.
I got $30. and now get this. It's not even ergonomical. It's not. It doesn't even have a fancy shape. It's just a keyboard. Weighs about 10 pounds. But it's like.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Your keyboard weighs 10 pounds.
I mean, maybe 5. I don't know.
That's a heavy ass keyboard, isn't it? Isn't 10 pounds pretty heavy?
It's a mechanical keyboard, you know, with the super switches and all.
I gotcha.
I could use it as a weapon. Of course, it'd probably break the keyboard. But you know, in case that guy came in, boom! Fuck you. He's dead.
You're gonna kill him with your keyboard. I see. I see. So you heard it here first, folks. Pros use $30 10-pound keyboards.
I didn't say 30.
You said
Add a
$30.
1 in front of the 30, and then a 0.
Oh, 130.
Yeah, it's.
Wait, you
really
said
expensive.
add a 0, so $1,300 was how much your keyboard cost.
Yeah.
And you're wanting to take out a criminal with that $1,300 keyboard. I see. I wonder what's. It must be like gold or something, weighing that thing down to 10 pounds. I can only assume. Diamonds. That's some cheap ass diamonds there.
Yeah, they're cubic zirconium, but it's okay.
So it looks like we're almost ready to go. True North almost called a forfeit here, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 True North members are now in the game. 6 Northern Lights members, and like I said earlier, Northern Lights is a fairly new team. Neither me or Bitey have heard of them. Have you, Bitey? I sent you the player roster yesterday. I don't know if
the Northern Lights take place up in Alaska and around the Arctic Circle.
But this team is Swedish.
And every night they kind of happen when the solar radiations hit the Earth's magnetosphere near the poles, and then the radiation like reacts with the atmosphere, causing the Northern Lights.
But this team is Swedish, Bitey.
Well, look, they might have Northern Lights in Sweden.
Do they?
It's pretty close to the Arctic Circle.
I don't know. So, in other words, you know nothing about the team at all.
But I know a lot about Northern.
You know a lot about Northern Lights. I don't think you know anything about it. All you know is that there are lights in the north somewhere.
No, it's a atmospheric phenomenon commonly associated with the Arctic Circle, where the sun's radioactive waves, they come in and they interact with the magnetosphere, and At the fall.
I don't know what's happened to this cast. Let's go ahead and let's just cancel the game. You know, we'll come back tomorrow.
Now we can just talk about my ribs.
About where are your ribs from?
Mom's house. I don't know where they got them.
Well, those are some good ribs. I think we're ready to go, Bitey. Are you ready to start this? Are you excited for this game?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now that Bitey's gonna, you know, the first game we had for this tournament, we had Andy eating nuts, pecan nuts, and almonds during the thing. Now you're eating ribs. What is this? Do I need all my co-casters to be eating food during these casts?
I was just thinking about that earlier. I'm like, well, I got ribs, I got a little Gatorade bottle, and I got some chips. So you know, I'm stoked. I'm stoked more than he is.
Well, that's good enough. We're gonna go ahead and get started though. The first map's of course gonna be on NS2 Summit. So here we go, folks. The first match: True North versus Northern Lights. Starting now. All right, welcome everyone.
No, it's not.
It's not live right now. Welcome everyone.
I didn't think so.
To Summit. I was playing the map intro video, Bitey, because we're a professional group here. All right, casters are ready. We're ready to get started. I'm excited to see this match. Like I said, Northern Lights is an unknown team. True North is a Division I American team. The only matches they've lost in the ENSL are 4 matches against Nexel. So they're a pretty good team in their division.
TN for life.
TN for life. Of course, they get their True North name from Canada. Even though
That's
only
not
like
True North. What are you talking about? The North Pole's over the Arctic Ocean.
well, I was about to say even though like 2 or 3 of them are even Canadian.
What?
That's true. That's true. C:/ actually sent me a sheet with a bunch of facts about him. I don't have it with me, unfortunately. I can't remember where I put it. But she sent me a sheet.
Just like that mechanical pencil.
Just like that mechanical pencil. Can't remember where I put it. I have the mechanical pencil, though. It's in my hand right now. I'm able to take my notes on my Post-it notes here. So we'll, I won't forget the score as we go on. Oh, you know what? We're actually using Insight. Let me go ahead and set this up. True North.
True North. Very nice.
Boom.
It's kind of weird that, like, you know, these teams' names are so similar. I'm like, I wonder if they're related. Because, you know, you got Northern Lights and you got True North. And it's like, well, who's the real North? Are you representing your North or the other North?
What's more North, Sweden or Canada?
You said that they're not all Canadian anyway.
That's true. Well, what's more North, Sweden or golly?
Ask the viewers, because I'm cast. I don't have time for my globe. I mean, I can't go into my study and get the life-size globe.
Yeah, the study, because you have a study in your apartment or house, wherever you are. But it doesn't matter, because we're ready to go. We're starting this first match. True North as the Marines today on NS2 Summit, starting down in flight control. And we have Data Core being populated by Northern Lights as aliens. So what's going on, Bitey?
Well, what's going on here is we got a pretty standard alien split going on. And the Marines on the other side are doing the 2-2 builder at base. And he's going to reinforce one of these sides.
Awesome.
And it's kind of a very safe opening right here. Because your builder in base defends from any kind of like crazy surprise rush. And the 2 builders are just left to do whatever they want.
Yeah, and it looks like we have 3 aliens sitting down.
Look at that! You see with this shade hive?
Oh yeah, that's pretty dirty. We're gonna see a quick camo by these aliens. We already see 3 aliens moving down through sub-access. They're probably gonna be waiting for that camo upgrade to come up. That's a really quick upgrade though. 40 seconds into the game, they're definitely wanting to take True North by surprise and try to pull out a victory.
Whenever you go camo, it's always it's kind of a gamble because like when camo comes up and your team doesn't know it, then you're way ahead as long as you can capitalize on your camo play. So they just ran into the aliens in the hallway and they're like, oh look, they're just out here, so they don't know that camo's up yet. So as long as they can keep them guessing, they don't let them get into the hive, this will be a really powerful play if they utilize it.
And we do have Mini Hop and Scalman both in the Atrium vents, waiting for, it looks like, Mac and Ridiculous to move into Atrium. And Subaxis is getting built right now. And this is an interesting lineup for the True North team. I mean, we have Ozilla commanding, normally commanded by Seagull and Slash. We don't see either Decoy or Wolfist here. So it's an interesting lineup here by True North. I'm wondering where their regular players are. Or maybe they felt like they didn't need their regular players.
I don't know. I've known Decoy for a while. I don't know if she's a morning person or not. So. But the Marines are not probably going to notice that stealth is online, so they've got their surprise of camo gone. So what they need to do is start capitalizing on this before the Marines can start. What they're going to want is they're going to want obs, phase gates, and trying to box them in before they can get the second hive. So usually your first bet when you know a team's going to go camo, you need to lock down this second hive, then you need to fight through their camo until you can get the tech up to counter it.
Yeah, and it looks like we already have two Marines sitting in Data Core right now.
Oh, no.
Man, but he's going to take it out. 4 camo skulls coming up on him. And they definitely know. I mean, there's no question that the aliens have camo now, and they're definitely going to start taking precautions against that. Although Ridiculous is going to go down in Crevice, it seems like the Marines have actually lost Crevice, the only resource tower being taken out so far in this game. But at the same time, the Marines are on 3 resource towers, building a 4th. The aliens are only on 2. Not building out towards ventilation, but they are building into Atrium, which is going to be their 3rd tower.
If you look at the Skulk here in Summit Reception, they've got the observatory right here in the corner. It's going to make sure any alien can't just slip into base. But what they don't know is that, like, if you get into base and you don't get shot and then you hide in a corner, you can stealth up and then you'll be free to cloak around in the main of the Marines, and they'll never be able to find you until they start scanning. But it didn't look like he did that. But it'd be a nice thing he could have.
It looks like he went over to Crossroads. 4 Marines sitting in here, so the Marine presence around the rest of the map is almost non-existent. But it doesn't seem like the Northern Lights team know how to capitalize on this, as they're all just sitting around in Pipe Junction on top of 1 Marine.
Yeah, well, he usually said, don't tell them what they need to do. But it's like, if you want to go camo, you need to start hitting those RTs in the back. That's what they need to do before these Marines start taking out this harvester, like here, right in reactor core. So they need to be careful that they don't lose too much money on, like, this obvious early game advantage.
Yeah, that's putting the Northern Lights team down to 2 resource towers. 1 is building up somewhere, although that might be a... Nope, there it is. So they're down to 2. Scalman getting pinged, so his camo getting knocked out. 3 Marines moving into Atrium. They're going to try to take out this resource tower as well. The Marines sitting on 4 towers. The aliens only sitting on 2. And we don't see any pressure at all from any of the aliens on these other resource towers.
A really good rule of thumb to kind of get a picture of how important alien RTs. It's kind of like a 2-to-1 thing. 1 alien harvester is probably worth 2 Marine ones. So it's very crucial that your alien team always defends its harvesters if it can. Especially if you go shade, you need to get a second hive up.
And it looks like this harvester is going to take quite a bit of damage. Oh, look at the excellent shooting from True North right now. Doing a great job taking out these skulks. That Atrium harvester is going to fall. And we still see absolutely no pressure from the Northern Lights teams on any of the harvesters. The Marines are able to just move around the map as much as they want without any hesitation at all. And we do see...
Look at that medkit bam down in a pipeline right there. He took about 6 medkits with 1 skulk.
In Pipe
Junction? He ended up winning the fight, so now we can kind of create a line so these skulks can get out without stealthing. But he'll probably just keep scanning, like he did right there.
It looks like, oh, the scan pulls out Karen. Oh, just in time. That was incredibly close.
Man, that is some good shooting by Mohawk right there.
It is, very good shooting.
Coming in, if he clears up, this is going to be a serious win for him.
Oh, and he doesn't, but Ridiculous is moving in right behind him. Decides not to move in. And I don't even know where Ringer came from. Ringer is sitting inside of that base.
Now too, so. I think they lost their shelf. Yeah, no, they lost the veil. The veil for camo is now destroyed.
And this is going to be a huge hit. All the aliens are down except Pixel, who's commanding. And that's going to do it.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think there's any feasible way that they're going to get back out of this, because they just lost their veil. They had to drop a shave, but they only got 1 RT now. So you know, if they gotta clear this thing out. If they can, you gotta get them out. There you go. Well, maybe they can get back on their feet, but they need to start hitting these Marine RTs before they get phase gates everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's been pretty much the downfall of the alien team. I mean, just excellent shooting by Northern Light or True North right now, but at the same time, they're sitting on 4 RTs. They haven't had any issues at all keeping resource towers up, and we're just seeing very severe pressure by the True North team.
It's kind of a textbook example, I could say, for like how you contain a camo team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you're doing. You keep filing into their main as best as you can, and you keep the scans online while you got some guys in the back building up your tech. And you can't see if anybody's back there building anywhere, but they're just keeping on a really heavy amount of pressure with scans coming in all the time. And it just kind of shuts down your ability to do anything with a camo play.
And it looks like the shade goes down, and all the Marines are now moving into the base. Do we see a phase gate anywhere yet? Oh, yep, there's a phase.
We have a phase gate in Crossroads, an observatory right here in this pipeline glass hallway area.
Yep. And here it is. This is going to be the final push for the Marines. All the aliens are dead. All the eggs are gone.
They have 2 eggs up, but the Marines aren't looking for them, so that could be a problem if these.
Oh yeah, they're right behind
capitalize
Keesler right there, and they just
Yeah,
they
there goes
completely
another egg.
leave. They just get
I don't know
out
why
of
they're
there.
walking up though. Oh, he's gonna go for a hive drop. If you look at the res
No, they
counting up there.
turned around.
Right. Oh. Well, maybe.
And there goes the hive. The Marines are going to take this. True North takes the very first game.
Woo!
In True North
Yay,
versus Northern
victory!
Lights. So here's how this is going to work, folks. This is a NA versus EU match. I believe Tram is the second map. This is an NA versus EU matchup. So what's going to happen is here we're going to go ahead and switch to Tram, and basically what this means is True North will take both Marine rounds right now. And let me change the map real quick. Change map NS2 Tram. So True North is going to do 2 Marine rounds on this server, and then we'll switch to the European server for Northern Lights, where they'll do their Marine rounds. They're at a little bit of a disadvantage right now. They're already down 1-0. So when we switch to the Northern Lights server, should Northern Lights lose this next round, they'll be down 2-0, and they'll have to win on their server, which they'll have a distinct advantage as Marines there, just because of ping differences.
It depends if they're a UK server, like way in the Sweden area.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a substantial advantage. Perhaps.
All right. So you've done NA versus EU matchups. What's the challenge here for both teams?
Well, the challenge, like, for both teams, like, it's actually kind of a double-edged sword. Like, high ping sucks when you're playing on it, but it also sucks to fight against it because there's all these little variables that go into modern networking, and when you have a high ping, what you see on your screen is usually either 167 milliseconds plus whatever you got for interpolation on top of that. So it's all in the past, but at the same time, the guys with the low ping, these skulks are never where they're actually looking at, so they could be a lot closer than you think. And, you know, any kind of hiccup or so, like, actually kind of warps the skulk around just a little bit. And you always have to be careful when you're fighting a high ping user, because the way that you fight is he's ahead of you, and you're seeing where he was 200 milliseconds ago, if not more.
And that's something that you can't really figure out unless you're playing a lot of matches over on the European servers or North American servers, depending on where you are. And I'm not sure how much True North has done that. I know they scrimmed against Arcade and a few EU teams quite a few times. But, I mean, it's probably part of a pretty big issue for Northern Lights. I'm sure they haven't actually played on an American server at all as a team. So that's definitely something to look out for. But we're going to go ahead and go on to NS2 Tram today. So here we go. Welcome everyone to NS2 Tram for the second match. Obviously we have True North up 1, Northern Lights at 0. Second match for the Marine team, True North, and then we'll be switching over to the European server that's hosted by Northern Lights. And it looks like we're just waiting on one person. Looks like Mac disconnected. He's coming in right now. Look, Mohawk Viking also has that Purple Gorge.
Oh yeah, signing up for some early beta teachers union thing.
Teachers Union.
Yeah, let's just call it like Teachers Union for short. Oh, you just say from now on, oh, he's a member of the Teachers Union.
So Purple Gorge equals Teachers Union, everyone.
Yeah,
from here on
some
out.
beta thing, long story short, it didn't go through, and now we're just left with icons.
So here we are on NS2 Tram. This is actually the first time we've seen Tram on
the first time
on this tournament. So it should be good. I'm excited. Here we go. We're starting. We are starting, of course, True North as the Marines, starting up in Warehouse. Oh, and check this out. Close spawns, Northern Lights over in Server Room. The advantage definitely Northern Lights' favor. What do you think, Bitey? How's this gonna?
Well, when you got these close spawns, oh my gosh, they're gonna go a straight 5.
Oh man.
So I think what you're instantly gonna see once they see all 5 of these Marines are gonna maybe pull back. There they go. Look at this, pulling back to their main because they see that this 5 group of skulks here is just gonna be a massive threat to their base. And so instinctively they pull all their units back, and it looks like we're gonna have a big fight.
Oh, they're going at it. They're going at it. But it looks like Northern Lights is taking this out. Only 2 aliens left, and there they go. Northern Lights cleans that up very easily. Obviously having the range advantage now that they knew all 5 aliens, and that was a pretty risky play by the aliens, only because they sent all 5 of their skulks in one direction. The chances for being in Warehouse are about 50-50 between Warehouse and shipping at this point.
Well, like when they chose to engage there, they had already fought one guy and he'd seen 5 skulks, and what you're gonna have now is probably an egg lock scenario coming up. You look at this, they sent 4 Marines in because they just cleared the entire wave of aliens. So now they can walk in, only 1 or 2 skulks are gonna be up for the next 30 seconds or so because these eggs just aren't gonna come up. So they're probably gonna instantly respond like as you should, which is by locking down the hive.
And it looks like one of the Northern Lights members had to reconnect, unfortunately. So that's going to be a pretty severe disadvantage here for Northern Lights. I mean, we're at 1 egg, 0 eggs now. Looks like True North is going to take this match in 2 minutes.
Wow, that's pretty bad for an outcome to come out.
Yeah,
you
that's
try to all in on their base, and then it's like, well, they're going to be back in full because you won't have any eggs up if you die like that. So, as you see, like, anytime an egg comes up, they just pop it. And they're probably just going to keep all-inning on this base until it dies. I'm surprised they didn't drop a hive, though. They had the money for it. They could have tried to recover in some method like that. But
yeah, it was, I mean, that's interesting play. Let me go ahead and switch back here real quick. That was definitely interesting play. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for the Northern Lights team. Let me switching to NLT server.
If, I kind of break it down, how you would do that right is if you really wanted to do a 5 into their main, you would need to be sure that you don't get spotted, because in the first 60 seconds, all the Marines are within walking distance of coming back to their main. So if you do get spotted and they see 5, they're instinctively going to pull back their forces and go to the main just to make sure that they mop up. Now, once they know that, once the Marines know where you're coming from, it becomes their fight to win, because if you're not ambushing as a skull, you put yourself in a really bad situation. Like, the bullets are a lot more effective than bites. Plain and simple.
Especially,
so once you
especially
lose
in a
that
range
moment of
situation.
surprise. Yes.
All right, so we're taking some time to switch over to the other server, and hopefully this will give Northern Lights the advantage they need. Again, I don't know how much True North has practiced on playing on European servers, but like Bitey was saying earlier, I mean, it's just significant ping disadvantages with where players are on the field on your screen, where players are on the screen, and just where they actually are according to the server. And sorry, I'm sending passwords and stuff all over the internet, doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
Oh, that's a good password. Oh, when he says he's sending passwords, it means he's sending it to me.
Oh yeah. Well, I had to send it to you and to
No, just me.
Okay, just you. I only sent it to Bitey, so True North couldn't connect. But all right, we're gonna. This is obviously a best of 5 match. True North up to Northern Lights at 0, so they've got to win this one. And if they don't, they're gonna be knocked out. The winner of this bracket, this match is gonna go on to face Archaea in the next round. And I mean, I'll be perfectly frank. I don't think either of these teams really have a chance against Archaea. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone really has a chance against Archaea. I mean, they're the best team right now. They're completely undefeated in ENSL, and I don't think, from what I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not, Bitey, but I don't think they've actually lost any matches at all in scrims or anything yet.
The last time they lost on actually they have lost a few scrims lately. They do lose scrims from time to time.
I got you.
I've heard about that. I don't know. Who they lost.
It's a rumor. It's Archaea.
Look, they told me they lost. All right, somebody, yada yada yada. Long story short, they lost a scrim to HG once or twice, or somebody took a game from them somehow. But anyway,
somehow.
The last time they officially lost on a match was like 6 months ago, in some beta cup against Nexel, who like 3-1'd them. Way back when I wasn't even on the team, and I don't even know if I played NS2 or not. But this was forever ago when they actually lost the match. But since then, they like hunkered down, bunkered up, and they haven't lost a game on match, I should say. They haven't lost an official match since then.
Yeah, so they're a very good team. I mean, it's going to be. I'm interested to see this fight for the next round. Looks like True North might be going on, but Northern Lights still can pull us out. They have to win the next 3 matches in a row to get this, and let's see if they can pull it off. We're going to go ahead and switch over. I don't need to play these intro videos again. So we're already on NS2 Summit. Casters are indeed ready. Northern Lights, of course, as the Marines with the ping advantage. Just looking, oh man, this is crazy. True North has 150 to 200 pings. And that's pretty high, even for a European server. I mean, I'm sitting at 170.
You see, like the way that you always want to do your matches when you do this EU versus US stuff. You put your server in New York, and then you put your server in UK, and then you play there. But I'll let you take over. Where'd they spawn?
Here we go. We're starting up. Northern Lights up in Atrium. True North all the way down in sub-access. Cross-map spawns. Exactly where Northern Lights wants to be, just because it'll give them an advantage. They'll be able to cap a few resource towers. Should True North try to do a rush of any kind, they have a long way to go as each skulk dies. But it looks like just a standard 2-2 split from the aliens, a 2-2 split from the Marines as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard opening to be safe. You know, they got their base builder there. He's kind of protecting against the rush. But our first fight's going to obviously happen in Reactor. I'm kind of waiting for this guy to jump down. They're not even spotting him. He's up there.
Yeah, it looks like they're not even going to... They're going to wait for them to walk away and try to grab this resource tower. So we'll see if Northern Lights decide... They're actually sneaking around. They're actually crouching, trying to be silent. But this resource tower is now taking damage. They are not turning around.
The weird thing is they're not even going to come back to save it. So I'm not sure... Like, they're crouching like, oh man, there might be some monsters up here. But there's no monsters anywhere nearby them. Like, the closest guys are in Reactor, and that's it. So they're creepy crawling around, but there's not really a reason to at this point in time.
I mean, they're going real slow right now. And that reactor core tower is already gone. Looks like Crevice is getting bitten right now. Mac playing a little defensively. Took a few bites. Now he's waiting for some Marines. And I mean, normally he would be right to wait for those Marines. But
wow! Did you see that? Did you see that in Reactor Core? They just kind of walked right by.
I didn't see it.
They didn't even check their side. And the skulks are just looking at him walk into the room, but nobody checked the wall.
Oh, there he goes. Now they saw Kessler up on the roof, but they didn't manage to hit him. Viking also getting spotted. So 3 Marines now sitting in Reactor Core. And I'm not quite sure if they want to redrop this tower or not. It doesn't look like they're doing it. And there it goes. There's the tower being redropped. No tower in Crevice, of course. And it looks like just the aliens have supreme dominance over this entire map right now.
I wouldn't be shocked if the aliens start doing some really aggressive expanding up maybe to flight or to data. Data core is usually your safest hive to drop in this scenario. So I would expect them to, you know, they got comp lab. They're probably going to go for ventilation and then right up to data core. Because now they know that it's long spawns. That's usually where you want to set up shop.
Yeah, and it looks like exactly what you were saying. The Marines aren't checking the roofs. They're not checking their blind spots. They're not checking crevices. They're just walking in, looking at the floor. And it's hurting them. I mean, True North is able to skulk around exactly where they want to be. And they're not being punished for it. Kessler and Mac doing an excellent job here fighting each other. Looks like Kessler does get away. Mac ends up surviving. And we already see
like when you make that like I don't know if you noticed how many med cuts he dropped, like 3 or 4 med kits, and they only have 2 RTs. So as long as the Skulk stays alive and makes the med, it actually becomes worth it for him to just do that and harass them, because that breaks your Marines armor. That's 2 bites for any other buddy who can come in later on, and since they don't have welders, they're going to be stuck with that low HP. And if you look up in Atrium again, 3 Skulks are now in their main.
Yeah, and this is interesting. I mean, the first research we saw for the Marines was phase tech, and that's kind of a questionable call just because they haven't been able to get out of their base to put a phase gate anywhere. I'm not sure when that research came up, but I bet the Marine commander's kind of regretting that at the moment.
He might not be. He might not.
And look, they're actually building a phase gate right now in Atrium. What about that, Bitey? What do you have to say about that?
Well, you know, maybe they got a plan. They're gonna put the phase gate, down here in maintenance access.
And I don't really like to talk bad about teams. I actually talked about Bitey with this. I mean, coming in as casters, Northern Lights are probably better players than I am. But just some questionable calls here. Interested to see where this phase gate plan is going up. And hopefully Northern Lights will take a look at this video, and they'll question it, and that's what they need to do.
Atrium. I think they just lost their IP here.
Wow!
If these 2 Skulks focus it down.
They do.
So they got an IP down. You're going to see all the Skulks get hyper aggressive really soon. They're probably going to start rushing into the main.
Oh no!
If they don't invest in a IP, well, there's an IP. So they made the right call by not getting too aggressive. But I wouldn't be surprised if they start streaming in as fast as they can to kind of like hit this RT or just keep them pinned into their base. When you kill an IP, it's a massive blow to Marine economy.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I mean, it's this kind of situation where Northern Lights hasn't been in very many competitive environments. They probably haven't had a chance to analyze their gameplay, and this will be a good chance. Hopefully when they take a look at this video later, they'll see that phase gate, and then they'll question. They'll be like, is this something we should have done at this point in the game? And that's what they should do. That's definitely what they should do. They shouldn't look at this as a loss. Oh man, we lost, we suck, let's just quit. They should look at this and learn from it. Right, Bitey?
Yeah, well, this is kind of where you start. Like, you have to understand, what does it take to win games? It's like, well, what does phase gates accomplish for you if you get them in the first 3 minutes? Especially on a map like Summit. My team used to do a lot of early phase gate tech to get up, but then we started looking at Arc and kind of understanding, like, why do we really need phase gates? What do they do? Every single spot in this map probably takes about 30 seconds tops to get to, and that's like all the way across from longest corner to longest corner. So what do you really accomplish with a phase gate? Well, your one reason that you ever might want one is to get like heavy pressure on a hive or an alien stronghold. So you can have a Marine constantly stream in, not have to walk, and just be straight in the hive whenever he's ready. But other than that, early game, you might as well focus on maybe shotguns, upgrades. I mean, maybe arcs would even be a better investment than phase tech right off the bat. It's just something that you don't really need, because it's like you're not going to utilize it till you actually get a foothold. And if you notice, like when they did finally plan it, they didn't really have anything to go off of. They already lost 1 or 2 RTs, and they just kind of started phase gates as a money spender, it looked like.
Yeah, this is interesting. They're building this power node in Glass Hallway. That's not something I don't think I've ever seen anyone ever do. And we see a beacon right now. Well, I'm just saying, because I mean, there's nothing in Glass Hallway. I'm not quite sure why they need a power node there, but I mean, it's built. They've got it. But massive pressure by the alien team right now. And Northern Lights looks like they are getting taken out. They are in 1 IP. 3 of them are dead. They're going to be spawning in 1 every 7 seconds, and that might be it.
Command station under attack.
So I don't
Might
think...
clean it up here. It's 2v3 scenario, 2v4.
Oh, and there he goes. There he goes. Everyone's down. And aliens win. That's going to do it. True North is going to take all 3 games in this match. And like I'm saying, I hope Northern Lights doesn't get discouraged by this. And I hope they definitely take a look at this, they reevaluate their play, and I hope to see them next season. Because next season is going to be a little bit later, and they'll have plenty of opportunities to scrim and practice and do a lot of good stuff. I mean, it seems like they're working well as a team. They're moving out together when they need to be. They're covering each other's backs. They just have a few of the fundamentals they need to iron out as individual players.
I kind of, I don't know if you checked out that show match yesterday. It was just, this is kind of the repeat scenario of what happened the other day. It's really just an inexperienced thing. It's not even that their skill level may or may not be uneven, but it just looks like they didn't really check the walls how they should. They didn't really progress forward. All they had going together was like decent teamwork. They were grouped up right, but like building a power node in a glass hallway, I don't know what you're gonna do with that.
Exactly. I mean,
that's just something you never do.
Yeah, it's something you never do. It's something they'll look at the video and they should ask themselves. Every single move they do, they should ask themselves. No matter if it was a good or bad move, they need to ask, is this a good place to build this resource tower? Was this a good idea? What am I going to do with this power node and glass hallway? What are we going to do with this phase gate that we just put in our base when we can't get out? What are we going to do with the phase tech? And it's things like that. You need to question every single move you do. You need to analyze it very fully, and I hope they do that. I mean, I assume that's something Nexil does. It's probably something Archaea does. That's how you two become the top players in your regions, just by doing that pretty in-depth analysis.
That was very, very wise of you, Talutha. And you worded it like a professional.
Well, I know what I'm talking about, Bitey. I just can't put it into practice. That's the issue. But it's that type of thing that you have to look at. And hopefully Northern Lights will do that. Hopefully True North does it, because they've got a very interesting matchup coming up. Obviously, they'll be moving into Archaea. Let me bring this up on the screen here. We can see True North is going to be moving over to Archaea, and hopefully True North will get as much footage as they can on Archaea, see what they're doing, maybe talk to them, because I know Archaea, they want someone to beat them. They want someone to beat them, and I bet if C. Colin went up to Scram and asked, hey, what can we do to beat you? I'm willing to bet you Scram will be like, this is what you need to do. This is what we suck at. And it'll give them that advantage. So just communication. I know.
Well, if you want to know, like, one of their basic weaknesses is that it's a Shade Hive.
Mm-hmm.
Shade Hive start is by far one of the most advantageous openings to do, because until they scout it out, they're not going to know that you have camo up, and you should always play camo like you never have it until you want to do the hit that you want to go for.
Exactly. And
the longer they know that you don't have camo, the better.
And who knows? Maybe we'll see True North pull out a victory or two. I mean, against Archaea, anything could happen. I mean, it's a good game. We'll see what happens. Especially the patch is coming out next week, so we're going to see a lot of interesting plays. Especially with the infestation change, infestation going away immediately. It'll make things a little bit harder on the alien team. And I'm not quite sure of the balances. Bitey probably knows about the balances, but he's not able to talk about it. For some reason, Unknown Worlds...
Actually, I don't. Well, I know what's in the beta build, which has been spoken about, but I'm not actually on that team that does any of the nitty-gritty.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, because the balance changes are coming out next week, and like you were talking about, the semifinals for ENSL are coming up pretty soon after that. So, and Unknown Worlds is talking about how there's a lot of balance changes occurring in that patch. So this will be an interesting semifinals for ENSL if the teams are able to adjust
Gorge
quickly
tunnels
enough.
are coming out supposedly.
Oh, is this?
And actually, if anybody here is interested in trying the beta is actually public.
Mm-hmm.
It's an open public beta of build 336.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually go download it right now and try it out for yourself and see what's going on. It's not under a table anymore.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, and yeah, I'm excited to see how this all occurs. Just looking. Let me switch back to the brackets here. To tell you what's coming up. All the original matches are done. A through D completed. Going over the brackets again. Systasist versus Duplex, 0-3 on Duplex. Godthar versus Cool Clan, 0-3 on Cool Clan. Nexil versus Breakfast Club, 3-0 on Nexil. And as you just saw, True North and Northern Lights, 3-0 on True North. This is an issue we were talking about, and I'm going to address this because every match so far has been a 3-0. And next season, they're not going to be random brackets. We'll get this set up where teams are more evenly matched. That's pretty much on me. I wanted random brackets. I thought that was the most fair. Obviously, we see that's not the most fair. So going in, we'll see some good matches. Coming up, We have Circle Lurk versus Duplex, the team versus Cool Clan, Bounded versus Nexel, Archaea versus True North. And then when we move into the semifinals here, we're going to see some amazing matches. And the finals should be very good. Very good matches coming up. I hope all of you are excited to check this out. Are you excited to play some of the future matches, Bitey, with you and your team?
Actually, Locklear has hinted to me that one of our ESL, which is not ENSL, is another European league, match might be taking place right now.
Oh,
so I might actually go play a game.
All right.
And I suppose you can cast too.
Well, I'll let you. I'll see if I can cast that. We'll see. I'll let you go ahead and take off for now, and go do that.
I will be back. I have business to take care of.
He will. Oh, tell him real quick before you take off. Tell him what you're doing later.
Oh, I'll be teaching all sorts of breaking down how to play a marine round effectively and your basic skills that you need to know to progress through the map effectively. And I'll be including Talitha in on this little top secret training session.
So be sure
with a few other Nexo members too.
Be sure to stop by for that, folks. That's a new player workshop again, going over the marine tactics, like you said. It'll be good to tune in and check it out. Good to watch it. Maybe you'll learn a thing or two from Nexel, and it'll be good. So Bitey,
stick around. I think he can get this casting on this other thing. I'm gonna go ask him in Mumble.
All right.
Just try to entertain your people.
Try to entertain my people. Well, I've got to turn it off so the video on demand stuff goes well and according to plan. So you go do that, guys. Stick around. I'll let you know in chat if I'm going to be casting it, and we'll be back for that if I am. If not, thanks for watching, folks. Bitey, I hope you had a great time. Thank you for casting with me.
Yes.
And thank you for everyone else that normally I thank. Bitey, you can go now. I'm just going to go ahead and thank.
I'm going.
I'm going to go ahead and see you later. I'm going to go ahead and thank Rubix for doing all these videos. Both videos today, both Summit and Tram, were made by Salenthia. So thank you to her for making those. Of course, thank you to Unknown Worlds for making this amazing game. Thank you to Armand for making this backdrop. Thank you to all, I'm just going to call them. Thank you to all my staff for getting this tournament good to go. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I might be back with this other match that Nexel's playing here in a few minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and take off. Stick around, check out chat, and we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching, everyone. Good game. And as always, stay sucky, gamers.